Hey, welcome to the third story in the Elmhurst Hospital series, and without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so basically a week after the whole booty juicing incident, this new kid comes into the unit, right? And at first I thought nothing of him. I'm like, oh, who is this kid? And he was about maybe a year or two younger than me, so I was like, alright, potential friend material over here, pretty cool. So we actually decided to become friends, because the truth is, I could tell he was a smartass and not really crazy. So, the odds of me getting stabbed or anything was like really low. So I was like, oh, pretty fucking cool. So anyway, we started talking about the most random shit ever, right? Like we're talking about our favorite TV shows, our favorite movies, what we're gonna do once we leave, our interests, our hobbies, like just normal shit, right? So we're talking for about 2 weeks or so, right? And he decides that he wants to actually chat in my room. So I was like, oh, what's with that? Like, we're not really supposed to have anyone in our rooms, right? So obviously he doesn't give two shits, and I'm like, okay, fine, fuck, then go to my room, I guess, fucker. So he goes into my room and explains the situation. He's like, listen up, this doctor just told me I'm getting sent to a group home up in Pleasantville. And I'm like, where the fuck is Pleasantville? He's like, oh, it's about an hour away or so. So I'm like, oh damn, like they really about to send you up there, huh? Now dude was gonna do whatever it took to not be sent up there. I'm like, listen, I don't blame you, to be quite honest. Like, if I was being told that I was going to get sent to a group home, I'd probably do the same shit. So I get where you're coming from. So he's like, all right, so are you going to help me or not? I'm like, well, not physically, but I'll help you out with the plan, I guess. He's like, all right, explain. So I was like, okay, so I took him to the window, right? And I'm like, look over here. I'm like, there's a subway station that's right over here. It's a 5-minute walk. It's on the R line. It's on Broadway. It's called Elmhurst Avenue. And from there, you could pretty much go anywhere you want, really. He's like, oh, damn, for real? I'm like, yeah. So then we had to figure out how to actually leave the building to begin with, right? And I told him there's 2 staircases. There's a left staircase and a right staircase. Now, I recommend the left staircase because I felt like the left staircase brought you to the far exit versus the right staircase that brought you right to the main entrance, which has all the cops and security guards. And obviously, you want nothing to do with that, so yeah. So he agreed with my plan. I was like, oh, lit. Now get the fuck out of my room before I get in trouble. And he was like, alright, bet. So he leaves, and for about the next week or so, we still talk about it, but there's not really much to be said at this point. So the day finally comes when he's leaving the unit, right? And I remember him just looking at me dead in my eyes for a good 5 seconds, and I was like, damn, this kid's really about to escape right now. So he basically goes through the double doors, escorted by these 2 doctors, and I hear this loud bang, right? And the next thing I knew, I started hearing alarms, I started hearing people freaking out, and I knew this kid dipped. Like, I just knew he did for a fact. I was like, damn, he's really going for it right now. So apparently he made it down to the first floor, and then he just got completely tackled into next year. I imagine what happened after that was they probably put restraints on him, and they sent his ass into that van and drove straight up to Pleasantville. Even though he ended up getting sent to that group home, at least he tried to escape, so I'll give him props for that, because honestly, would I have done that? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So everyone in this unit's going completely apeshit at this point, and I don't blame them because, we all just witnessed someone try to escape. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. So, of course, they called an emergency group therapy session with all of us, because they were just like, listen up, guys. Someone tried to escape, but guess what happened to them? Their ass got shipped to Pleasantville. Yeah, it was essentially 30 minutes of us getting roasted by all the therapists. Nothing out of the ordinary. If there was any way to kill our spirit, trust me, they'd make it happen. However, they were smarter, though. They knew that it was an inside job. So they started interrogating everybody, and I mean everybody. They even interrogated the kindergartners. So yeah, they were definitely ruthless in their search to find who the fuck was their accomplice. Sadly, I was their prime suspect because I talked to this kid all the fucking time. So of course they start asking me a bunch of questions. They're like, listen up, did this kid ever talk about escaping or anything with you? And I'm like, listen, if this kid even gave me the slightest hint that he was ever gonna even bother to escape, I would have snitched on him instantly, because obviously I trust the authority in this building, because you guys are like God in this building and I trust you and you're the best. I was spoon-feeding them the biggest load of shit I've ever said, possibly in my whole entire life. But listen, it had to be said, because at the end of the day, they're never going to catch me lacking. Fuck out of here. They believed every word I said, which was definitely a relief. But yeah, the fact this kid tried to escape was just such an epic thing to happen, and it was definitely the talk of the town for the next month or so. Which was a little bit annoying, but you know what though, it was still epic, and I was still part of it, because apparently I'm part of everything that's just fucking crazy going on in this place. Well, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the story, and be on the lookout for the next one.